Hello, Coaster fans. We've had a couple people on our comment section ask about the various slang that is used in the coaster community, saying there's a lot of acronyms they don't understand. So Jess and I are going to play a little game here where she is going to ask me coaster acronyms, and we're going to see if I know what they mean.
Woo ha ha ha. The challenge before you is great. But I'm going to start off with an easy one.
You'll find out how much of a coaster nerd I actually am.
He's a pretty big coaster nerd. So here we go. Our first acronym is GP.
GP is the general public. Those are going to be people who go to amusement parks and aren't coaster enthusiasts. They go just to ride the rides, but don't think about them too much.
Okay. Another should be easy one for you here. RMC.
Rocky Mountain Construction. It's a company that takes old crappy wooden roller coasters and converts them into modern hybrid coasters that are awesome.
Okay. B&M.
So Bollinger & Malibard. That is a Swiss manufacturer that makes roller coasters. They specialize in high capacity, very reliable, and fairly expensive roller coasters. You typically see them at larger parks.
Okay. Vacoma.
Vacoma is a manufacturer that produced very commonly cloned roller coasters such as boomerangs and SLCs, also known as suspended looping coasters. Most of the roller coasters you see at Disney parks are actually made by Vacoma as well.
You're getting fancy acronym within an acronym there.
I am. It's a double acronym.
Wowzer. So
many TOAs, 3 other acronyms.
Wow. I married a nerd, y'all. I married a nerd. All right, moving on. Our next one is Mac.
It's a manufacturer that makes roller coasters. Their newest one is the Extreme Spinning Coaster. They have at Silver Dollar City and Time Traveler. They're a lot of fun. They make very smooth, reliable rides that are also very expensive, so you don't see a lot of them in the U.S.
Okay, you're on a roll here. PTC.
It's Philadelphia Toboggan Coasters. Might also be Philadelphia Toboggan Company, depending when you're looking at them. They're a manufacturer that back in the day made complete wooden coasters, but now really just makes trains for wooden coasters and maintains those. But if you think a classic wooden coaster train, what you're thinking of is a PTC train.
Okay. GCI.
It's Great Coasters International. That is another wooden coaster manufacturer. They produce a lot of modern wooden coasters, such as Mystic Timbers.
All right. Aero.
Aerodynamics is a roller coaster manufacturer. They're out of business now, but when you think of a traditional looping roller coaster, what you're probably thinking of is Aero. They've also made mine trains, and actually the Matterhorn bobsleds at Disneyland was the first Aero coaster.
I'm just going to throw out there, I do not like mine trains. They usually realign my spine for me, whether I want them to or not.
It's good for you.
Gravity Group.
Gravity Group is a newer manufacturer of wooden coasters. They're actually based here in Cincinnati, Ohio, where Jess and I are from. They've made roller coasters such as the Voyage on the large scale and smaller family coasters such as the Kentucky Flyer down at Kentucky Kingdom.
Woody.
Sounds dirty. It's a generic term for a wooden roller coaster.
No. Hybrid.
A hybrid coaster is going to be a roller coaster traditionally with wooden supports and steel track. RMC in particular specializes in those.
ERT.
It's extended ride time. Sometimes parks will have extended ride time either before the park opens or after the park closes for pass holders or ACE members or other special groups.
SBNO.
Standing but not operating. That's when a coaster is for mechanical or financial or other reasons not in operation, where the park is still open, or sometimes the park is closed, but the coaster has yet to be torn down. It's just sitting there waiting for something to be done with it.
Ooh, this is never a good day. Evac.
Evac is when you're on a roller coaster and it breaks down during the ride cycle. Sometimes this will happen on the lift hill and you have to walk down the stairs. Other times it happens on the mid-course brake run and they'll have to get you out from other means. But yeah, it always ruins your ride when you get evac'd.
Not necessarily. The one time I got evac'd off of...
It was Surf Dog, wasn't it?
Surf Dog, I believe.
Yeah, you got free ice cream.
I got some free ice cream out of that, and so did my daughter. And so what could have been a really bad experience turned into a great one with ice cream.
Well, Kings Island has their blue ice cream. It's pretty tasty.
Can you tell we're from Cincinnati and we love Kings Island? All right, moving on. Down.
It's a generic term for when a roller coaster's not operating. So if you're at a park and 12 of their 13 coasters are working and the one that's not is just going to be down.
Flat ride.
That is going to be a ride at the amusement park that is not a roller coaster. So think your Scrambler or antique car rides or drop tower, that sort of thing.
Family coaster.
Family coaster is going to be a smaller roller coaster without steep drops or without inversions. They're really designed so that everyone can ride them, both young and old. They're not so small that adults are embarrassed to get on them, but they're not so big that younger kids are afraid to get on them.
I'm still embarrassed to get on them.
Sometimes I am too.
Okay, Hyper.
Hyper is a roller coaster with a drop between 200 feet and 299 feet. Traditional hyper coasters don't have inversions, but some of the newer ones certainly do.
Giga.
Giga is going to be a roller coaster with a drop between 300 and 399 feet. And being a Kings Island fanboy, I'm going to claim that it's the drop, not the height, that makes a coaster a Giga, because I want Orion to count.
Sure, it counts.
Of course it does.
It counts.
Totally counts.
Totally counts. Invert.
Invert's a roller coaster where the trains hang beneath the track and your feet dangle down.
Floorless.
Floorless is a coaster where the trains sit on top of the track and your feet dangle down.
RCDB.
Roller Coaster Database. It's an online website that tracks essentially every roller coaster that's ever existed. A great place to nerd out if you want to learn a little about the coasters in your area, or really anywhere for that matter.
Credit.
Credit is a generic term that coaster enthusiasts use to count how many roller coasters they've been on. It's not really defined what is a credit, it's up to the individual. I'm currently at 142 credits. Jess, how many are you at right now?
Oh man, if I have to check here, I'll have to pull up my fancy app. There is a coaster app you can actually download on your phone called Coaster Count. And looking here at my credits, I am currently at 113.
No, you're catching up with me.
Yes, I am. All right, moving on. Inversion.
Inversion is any element on a coaster that flips the rider upside down.
Airtime.
Airtime is most enthusiasts' favorite element. It's when the roller coaster subjects the rider to negative g-forces. So if you're anything between 0 and negative 0.5 g's, that's considered floater airtime. You're just kind of floating out of your seat. Anything stronger than negative 0.5 g's is considered ejector. That's when the roller coaster is trying its hardest to toss you out of the train.
Hang time.
Hang time is when a roller coaster has an element that will flip the rider upside down and just hang there, so you're essentially hanging in your restraints. Some coasters will only do this for a second or two, others will do it for a longer period of time.
I think that's one of the coolest elements a coaster offers.
Oh, I love it.
It's terrifying and amazing. Element.
Element is a term we've actually just thrown out here recently, and that is a term to describe anything a coaster does. So if you go through a loop, that's an element, or if you go down the drop, that's an element, or if there's an airtime hill, that's an element, but it describes an individual part of a coaster.
Lift.
Lift is pretty self-explanatory. That's the chain lift that pulls the train up the hill to start the ride.
Launch.
Launch is when instead of using a chain lift, you use either a magnetic or hydraulic or pneumatic acceleration to, in a straight line, accelerate the coaster. Very fast, typically.
Shuttle coaster.
A shuttle coaster is a type of coaster that will go through its course and then reverse direction and go back to the same course, back to the starting point. So if you think your Vacoma boomerangs, for example, are a classic shuttle coaster.
And the last one, full circuit.
Full circuit is a type of coaster that will start going in one direction and make a complete loop and end back at the same point it started without reversing direction.
All right, I'm not going to lie. That was pretty impressive.
You married a nerd.
I married not only a nerd, but a roller coaster nerd. And I'm impressed right now.
Yeah, you have to come up with a harder list to try to stump me.
You're right. Hey, any fans out there, if there's some terms that maybe we missed or that you know of that we don't, feel free to comment Don't forget to subscribe and like our videos. And as usual,
Right on.